those of you that saw my dog walk video yesterday, I spoke about a short, a medium, and a long-term plan. And little did I know when I recorded that things would move very, very quickly. Now, we've had word today, two of those three things appear to be moving already. I don't know whether I'm some sort of crystal ball merchant or something. I'm not. I'm seriously not. But it's just really weird that these things have happened literally the day after I've done a video about getting the transfers right and getting a director of football in. There's talk now that the director of football is on their way, and I'll do a separate video to cover that one. But this is the one that really, really excites me. And if you didn't see my video yesterday, you might want to go back, because it was fairly apparent that the second part of the three that we discussed, which was director of football and transfers, training ground, and the stadium, the training ground was the one that personally I was the most invested in out of the three, surprisingly enough for some. But it's always been a bone of contention of mine that the training ground is far and away, as far as I could see, the worst in the Premier League when we occupied that division, which we obviously now don't. And it's probably even in the Championship, not even up to par as far as that's concerned. For any of you that haven't been there, the stories about porta cabins and all the rest of it, they're absolutely true. You go in there and you go to the back of the complex, if you will, and the porta cabins that are used for like the media center and all the rest of it, where they do interviews before the game and all the rest of it. You've often seen, so if we've got a game on a Saturday, the manager will be interviewed usually on the Friday. That's where they interview the manager. They don't do it at London Stadium. They do it at Rush Green. Now, we actually have three training grounds as things stand at the minute. Now, the main one that we're talking about here is the one at Rush Green. That is where the men and the under 21s are situated. I'm not sure if the women are still there. I know the women used to play their first team matches there. They now play them at Victoria Road, Dagenham and Redbridge. But I think that they used to train them at some point. They may still. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we'll get stuck into it a little bit more. But if you're new around here, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Give us a hype if you've got one available. Hit the subscribe button. Click the notification bell. All these things just help to grow the channel. We don't get any of your data sensitive information. It doesn't cost you anything. It just takes a moment of your time. Just grows the channel into something bigger and better than it is. Alternatively, the little link that I've got, not the link, but the address that you've got at the bottom is one way you can subscribe, or you could just simply scan. There it is. That QR code, it takes you straight to our YouTube page where you can just click subscribe. You've got choices. Anyway, so as I understand it, as I say, we've got, well, as I understand it, factually, I know we have three training facilities. As I say, the men's first team is at Rush Green, which used to be the old Ford United Ford Sports Club ground facility, whatever. That was where the men's team are currently. And that's really the main one for me that we need to focus on. There are two other training grounds. The one is our old training ground, the one that people of a certain vintage will remember, that a lot of the old legendary players such as Moore, Hurst Peters, Lampard Senior, Bonds, Brooking, all came through Chadwell Heath. Now, that one is still in use, but it's mainly used by the youth grade teams like the under 18s and so on and so forth. Again, I'm not too sure whether the women might use that facility as well. There is also another facility that we have at Little Heath, just off the is it the A12 or the A13? Whatever. I've been there before as well. Anyway, the what I've heard now, I actually got this information this morning. I'm recording this on round about just before 6:30 on Monday the 15th of June. Now, I got some information. Don't ask me how. I'm not gonna go into all of those shenanigans. But basically, I've got some information that's been given to me, and I've been told that I can use this information. So stuff it. It's already gone out there to say that there's training ground upgrades and all the rest of it in the pipeline. Now, to be a little bit more specific on what's going on there, my understanding is that tomorrow, and by the time this goes out, tomorrow might actually be today, so it might be Tuesday by the time this goes out, whatever, in which case we're talking about today. As I understand it, there are surveyors going to Rush Green to give it the once over. Now, again, my information is that there may be a period of time once work starts getting underway, that there may be a period of time where the men's team and the under-21s who currently use Rush Green may have to decamp to the old training ground at Chadwell Heath in the interim. My understanding also is that we're looking to get, now, I mentioned porta cabins earlier. Now, if I say prefabricated or modular buildings, a lot of people will probably think more porta cabins. That's not necessarily the case. The modular buildings are a more efficient way of getting structures built in a short turnaround. These are quite modern, very, very efficient, very up-to-date buildings, if you will, that can be put together quickly. And we need to get moving quickly with this, as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, this is a major, major thing for me, as the training ground is where players are most of the time. Forget about stadiums and all the rest of it. The training ground is a footballer's office, effectively. So we need to get that absolutely tip top. Now, again, if you watched the video yesterday, you'll know that I referenced Bournemouth, and they're looking to get, as I understand it, their training facility, which is absolutely superb, is in the process of being made. I'm not too sure. It might have even been completed by now. And as I understand it, Bournemouth used this company that are getting in the modular buildings and all the rest of it. Now, for me, this is great news. This is absolutely fantastic news. As I say, I'm going to do a separate video on the director of football. That is big. That is big news. But for me, this news supersedes it. This news is the one that's like, wow, now this is Daniel Křetínský really coming in and putting his stamp on things and saying, we're not where we ought to be, guys, but it's my job as what will soon be his role as the majority shareholder at the club with his soon to be 43%. He's coming in and he isn't messing around. He's already had a good 3-4 years in the club, so he knows exactly what needs to be done. He's probably lacked the power to be able to implement change because obviously fundamentally Gold, Sullivan would have had a different narrative than him, and he would have been pushed to the side a lot of the time. That's now changed, and he is now flexing his muscle. Daniel Křetínský is now making it known who's in charge here, and that we're not where we ought to be, but his job is to take us to where we ought to be and beyond. This is fantastic news for me. If this, and as I say, the information that's come to me, it's come from what I consider to be a pretty reliable source. And as I say, as I understand it, this is starting from tomorrow. Surveyors going into Rush Green, things going from there. And as I say, the men's team, as I understand it, are very likely going to have to move temporarily to Chadwell Heath while a lot of these works are ongoing. But then obviously the fact that these are all modular buildings that they're putting together, that they can be put together a lot quicker. They'll go back, hopefully quickly, go back to a training ground that is a lot better. As I say, this is, as I understand it, it depends obviously largely upon what the surveyors find when they go there. That's always a thing that you're not quite sure what they're going to uncover. They might find things that we're not expecting that could put things back a little bit or might change the plan on the fly. That remains to be seen. But the fact is, this is now happening. We are moving in the right direction. Director of football's on their way. It's believed to be the gentleman, I believe his name's Steve Nickson, from Newcastle United. He's been there for a number of years under different managers, under different regimes at the hierarchy at the top of the club. So this is a guy that can be relied upon. But this for me is the big one. This for me is like, wow, Daniel Křetínský, he's not messing around. He's not taking any prisoners. Good news. What do you think, guys? Get your comments in the section below. Daniel Křetínský is getting things done. He's been the de facto chairman for just over a week. He's not hanging around. He knows that things need to be sorted out. He knows that things need to be sorted and ironed out. He's flexing his muscle. He's getting things done. This is good. This is good. I mean, we've had 16 years of primarily Sullivan using cheap ways to try and sort of like operate a Premier League club. The training facilities are an absolute disgrace. We ought to hang our heads in shame. It's getting sorted. What do you think? Get your comments in the section below. As I say, you've got a QR code just over there. If you want to scan that, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell whilst you're there. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Give us a hype if you've got one available. We'll see you again soon. Come on, you Irons.